Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today we are doing another easy on the joints yoga flow. For this session you may need a yoga block or a pillow, either or, it really doesn't matter, or you can have both, and a yoga mat. So whenever you're ready, let's come into a standing position and I'll meet you on the mat. So when you're ready, you want to be standing on the mat with your feet about hip distance apart. You can actually stand towards the top of the mat. I'm just going to be a little centered just so that you can see me okay. And we're just going to start with a nice little standing stretch. So when you're ready, take a little bend in your knees. Inhale, slowly reaching the arms up into the air. Reach up nice and high. You can have a little wiggle of your fingers. And then exhale, just floating the arms down again, just nice and steady. We take our time. Inhale, we sweep the arms up again, just reaching up, a little wiggle of those fingers. Maybe take the gaze up in between the hands. Exhale, float it down. Let's bend into the knees, sweep it up. Reaching up nice and high. We're creating that space in the ribs. Take a deep breath. Exhale, float it down. And then this time, inhale, reach it up. Once the arms are up in the air, you can just lift the heels off the floor nice and gently, just coming up onto the tiptoes. And then as you exhale, lowering everything back down. Again, inhale, we reach up. You can come up onto those tiptoes again. And then on the exhale, slowly lower down. Let's just do that one more time. Inhale, see if you can lift the heels up at the same time as you reach the arms up this time. And then exhale, just slowly lower yourself down. And then this time, we're not going to lift the heels, but we're going to take a generous bend in the knees as we sweep the arms up into the air, reaching up. Exhale, bring the arms down, taking that little bend back into the knees, and have a little bounce, and then sweep the arms up. Exhale, bring it down, little bend in the knees, have a little bounce. So you're kind of sweeping a little faster with the arms. Exhale, float it down, find that little bounce and then reach it up. So we're just creating a little bit of blood flow here, nice and gently. Sweep it up one more time. And then exhale, little bounce, reach it up. And then exhale, just floating the arms back down by your side. You might want to have a little bit of a roll out of your shoulders here. That might feel quite nice. And then we're going to take it into a little standing side stretch. Again, your feet are about hip distance apart here. We're going to inhale, reach the arms up overhead. Interlace the fingers. Take a little lean over to the left. Try to keep your chest nice and open here. Breathing into that right side body. Wonderful. Inhale, slowly back to center, taking it to the other side. Again, breathing into the left side this time. Inhale up. Let's go one more time each side, over to the left. Inhale up and over to the right. Wonderful. Inhale, slowly come back to center and then just float the arms back down by your side. And then we're going to take it into a sweeping side stretch, which is a nice little dynamic movement. So what we're going to do is we're going to bring the feet wider. So they're about as wide as your shoulders, and then just turn the toes out slightly. You might try and find a little softness in your knees here. So we're trying not to lock those knees in. And then just have the arms hanging down by your side and gently twist the torso so you're looking over towards that left side. Then you just want to take a little lean forward, just a little lean. You don't have to come down too far here. Arms are just hanging down. And all we're going to do, we're going to start with this right arm and we're going to sweep the right arm up into the air and draw like a big rainbow up overhead. And then we're slowly going to come down towards that right side. This left hand now is going to sweep up, following the right. And we're going to be just leaning over to that right side, and if you can, try and get your left hand to touch your right leg. Anywhere, it doesn't matter where, just see if you can get those fingertips to touch. Take a deep inhale and you're leading with the left arm this time. Reaching, drawing that big rainbow, then that right arm starts to follow. We bring ourselves over to the left and then the right hand this time tries to touch the left leg. Inhale, leading with that right arm and then sweeping to the other side. So just go nice and slow and steady to start with. And then once you kind of find the rhythm with this, a little bit of fluidity, you might decide that you want to go a little faster. It's not necessary to go faster, but sometimes it feels nice to just create a little bit more warming energy in the body, get that blood flowing a bit more. We're getting a nice gentle twist in the back here, in the spine. And again, another little side stretch as well. Wonderful. Let's go one more time each side. And then slowly bring ourselves back to center, reaching both arms up into the air. As we've got the legs wide, we're going to take the arms wider as well. So we're like a big 5-pointed star. Really reach through the fingers here. Take a deep breath. And then exhale, floating the arms back down by your side. Wonderful. Bring the feet back to about hip distance apart and just come towards the top of your mat if you're not already there. Now you can have your hands at heart center, so pressing the palms together, thumbs to the sternum, or for a bit more stability, maybe you have your hands on your hips. And then when you're ready, you're just going to step that right foot back, bring the heel down to the floor. So nice wide step back. Bend in the front knee. Make sure you feel nice and steady so you're not wobbling about. We don't want to compromise our balance here. So if you are feeling really unsteady, just bring the back foot in slightly. Try to square off your hips if you can, as long as that feels okay for the hips. And then the knee, that front knee is just directly above your ankle. And then whenever you're ready, sweeping the arms up into the air for your full warrior one. So as we're stretching and reaching up through the torso, we're also creating engagement in this back calf muscle. So this right foot with the heel pressed down to the floor, that's what's creating that engagement, that nice stretch. And we're just going to take a few breaths here, just really nice, natural, steady breaths. Gazing forward. You can try and soften the gaze slightly here. We're gaining some strength as well in the legs and the hips. All the warriors that we do in yoga all represent strength in some way. Lovely, one more breath here. Wonderful. And then you might want to bring your hands back to heart center, or you can bring the hands to the hips again. And what we're going to do is we're going to take an inhale. We're just going to gently lift that back heel off the floor. So we're just coming up onto the toes of that back leg, getting a nice stretch through the leg. And then as we exhale, really slowly planting that heel back down to the floor. So we're trying our best to keep the front leg exactly as it is. Inhale, start to lift up through that heel again. So just deepening that stretch. Exhale, lower down. Also, we're getting into the foot and the sole of the foot's getting a stretch, the heel, the ankle. Inhale, we lift. And then exhale, we lower down. Wonderful. Keeping the gaze forward, we're now going to straighten this front leg. So taking that bend out of the knee. You might want to bring your hands to your hips if they're not there already. We're going to lengthen up through the spine here. And then as we exhale, keeping a flat back, we're just going to hinge ourselves forward over this front leg. Now, it's important to come down any amount that feels good for you. But what I don't want you to do is come lower than your hips. So we're trying to keep this nice and gentle, joint friendly. If we go too low, we're going to really intensify the stretch around the knee, which we don't want to do here. So just leaning forward just a little. You are going to feel a hamstring stretch here. And just hold it in the position that feels good for you, making sure that you're not rounding through the spine, so that's nice and flat. If you think long line from the crown of your head all the way down to your tailbone, you will be good. You're just gazing down at the toes, maybe give them a little count, make sure they're all there. And then when you're ready, nice deep inhale, slowly rise yourself up, take a little bend into that front knee. Let's sweep the arms back into the air for that full warrior one. Let's inhale deeply. Exhale, bringing the hands to the hips. We're going to step that right foot forward, have a little shake out of the legs, and then we're going to take it straight to the other side. When you're ready, inhale, we're going to step that left foot back, dropping the heel, and then making sure there's that bend in the front knee. And then whenever you're ready, rise up with the arms, full warrior one here. Lovely. Holding the position, taking the gaze forward. Wonderful. Reaching through the fingers, dropping those shoulders. Wonderful. And then when you're ready, we're going to start to lift that back heel off the floor. So coming onto those toes, press the balls of those toes into the floor. And then exhale with control, slowly lower down. Remember, you can bring your hands to your hips here if you want that extra little bit of stability. And never be afraid as well to put your hand out to the wall or have a chair close by as well if you need to as well. Inhale, let's lift. Exhale, let's lower. Lovely. Inhale, lift one more time. And exhale, nice and controlled, lower the heel down. Wonderful. You might bring your hands to your hips if they're not there already, and we're just going to gently straighten through that front leg. Lengthen up through the spine, nice and tall. As you exhale, start to hinge forward over the front of that right leg, just coming as far down as feels comfortable for you. Remember, don't go lower than your hips though. Hold it here. Again, take a little gaze down at the toes, maybe give them a little count. Maybe that can be like how long you stay there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then inhaling deeply to gently rise up. We take a bend in the knee again, sweep the arms up, returning to that full warrior one. Take a deep breath, exhale, float the hands to the hips, gently step forward. Have a little shake out of the legs. And then we're going to take ourselves into a full forward fold here. So a little bend in the knees as we sweep the arms up into the air. Bring the palms together and then exhale, float yourself all the way down into a forward fold. Now, first forward fold that you do of the day is always going to be really tight. So this is where maybe you might grab a block, rest your hands on it, or you can take a generous bend in the knees here. Allow your shoulders, your head, your neck to hang nice and freely. And just breathing into the back of the legs, into your low back. That's probably where you're going to feel it as well. You might feel quite tight there. So just breathing deeply into those muscles. Each exhale, you're just releasing a little bit of tension, allowing that little bit more room for you to open up through those muscles. Wonderful. We're going to inhale now. We're going to rise up to a halfway lift, having a nice flat back here. Again, hands can just hang down. Maybe they rest on a block, or you can bring them to the shins, or maybe even towards the top of the thigh. Exhale, float yourself back down to that forward fold. Just go nice and steady. There's no need to rush. And then we're going to inhale deeply. We're going to rise ourselves up gently to standing. Straighten the spine, roll the shoulders back, and then sweep the arms into the air. Exhale, we're going to float ourselves all the way down again, forward fold. Just always spend a moment so that you can really connect to the stretch. Breathing in deeply. Nice exhale out through your mouth. Lovely. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward. And then inhale, rise yourself up to standing. Roll the shoulders. We sweep the arms up. And then exhale, float it down one more time into that forward fold. And this is where you'll probably notice that you actually feel a little bit more open. Yes, you still may feel a little stiff here, but it's definitely going to feel more open than it did from that first forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward. Inhale, rise yourself up to standing. Roll the shoulders, sweep the arms into the air. And then exhale, hands to heart center. Just take a moment here. So now we're going to make our way down onto the floor. Now, I'm trying to make this session as joint friendly as possible. So maybe a downward dog isn't going to be right for you today. Maybe you've got sore wrists. Maybe the knees are feeling a little tender. So what you can do is you can just come down to sit on the mat, but if you would like to have a little go at a downward dog, we're going to take a little bend in the knees, we're going to reach the arms up, we're going to exhale down to a forward fold, we're going to take a generous bend in the knees, we're going to plant the hands down to the floor, and then we're going to take maybe one big step or lots of little steps all the way back until we come into that downward dog position. Now, if your wrists are a little sensitive here, so downward dog, it's just the arms that you're having trouble with, you can have a little go at dolphin pose. So bring the knees down to the floor and then just bring the forearms down to the floor. And then once they're here, pressing into the palms and to the forearms and elbows, you can inhale, just lift the hips back up towards the sky. Like I say, this is just an option. You can just wait on the mat for a moment if you prefer. And we will be there in a second. If you're in that downward dog, bending the knee can be nice here, can just feel a little bit better on those hamstrings. Try to turn the tailbone up towards the sky. Take a lovely deep breath here. And then as you exhale, just lower yourself down and gently bring yourself into a seated position. So just take your time here. There's never any need to rush in getting into that seated position. And we are going to extend the legs out fully on the floor. So this is where a block as well and or a pillow can be helpful here. So if your joints in your knees are particularly sore today or inflamed, maybe sitting with the legs out straight isn't going to feel that great for you. So what you can do is pop a little pillow underneath. Again, you can use a block, you can put the block on any kind of setting. So you're just kind of supporting the knees, and yeah, also a block and a pillow. I mean, that's nice to have both. So what we're going to be doing here is staff pose. Staff pose is just going to lengthen the whole of the back of the body. It's always a really nice one to do. Just bring the hands to either side of your hips and you're just gently pressing the palms into the floor just to allow you to elongate through your spine. Even with the knees bent here, you can just point the toes towards your body, and that just allows a little bit more engagement in the back of the legs. Take a deep breath, really lengthen up through the body. Nice big exhale out. Wonderful. And then just keeping the legs exactly as they are. Keep tall in your spine. Inhale, sweep the arms forward and reach up nice and high. And then as you exhale, just twist the torso to look over to the right and then open the arms into a T shape. So you're just twisting as far as feels comfortable for you. Take the arms out. This is a little kind of variation on a standing snowflake pose. And then inhale nice and deeply. Just turn to face the front, reach both arms up. And then exhale, just bring them back down. Press the palms into the floor. Lengthen through your spine. Wonderful. Inhale, we're going to sweep the arms up. This time we're going to take a little twist over to the left and then open the arms into a T shape. So this is just, even though you're getting a little twist in the spine, we're also opening through the chest and the shoulder here. Lovely. Slowly, gently turn to face the front, reach the arms up, and then exhale, float the hands down. Wonderful. Whenever you're ready, you can just pop those props out of the way, and then we're going to make our way down to our back. So just slowly come down, and then we're going to extend the legs out along the floor here, and then we're just going to take it into a nice little relaxing side body stretch, which is a banana pose. Banana is traditionally a yin yoga posture. I think it's a nice one to kind of do towards the end of any kind of yoga pose. It's just a nice way to stretch out the side body. So all you're going to do is walk your feet over to that right bottom corner of the mat. We shuffle the shoulders over to the right top corner of the mat. So you're making this little banana shape with your body. Just take the arms up overhead and take your right hand, grab your left wrist, have a little stretch through that left arm, and then just relax the arms down on the floor. If it's comfortable for you to do, you can cross the left ankle over the right. And then just close your eyes here. So just breathing into the side body. What's nice about this pose is it's like a gentle side body yawn for the body. You can also do this one in bed. I say this all the time because it is definitely a good one to do in bed. Wonderful. When you're ready, just uncross the legs, bring the arms gently back down by your side and just shuffle yourself back to the center of the mat. Once you're here, you can walk the feet over to the left bottom corner of the mat, shuffle the shoulders over to the left top corner. We can take the arms overhead again, and this time the left hand grabs your right wrist. Again, just having that little stretch through that right arm. You kind of feel the stretch travel down the side body, and then just relax the arms again. And then crossing your right ankle over left this time, closing the eyes, and just really enjoying this stretch. Wonderful. Whenever you're ready, slowly unravel yourself and bring yourself back to the center of the mat. When you're ready, just bend into the knees, bringing the feet flat to the floor. Make sure the knees come together here, and then inhale to lift the hips, send them over to the left side of the mat, and then rotate the knees over to the right. Wonderful. You might want to open up your chest a little bit more here, if you can, if there's room to. Take the arms out into a T shape, and just keeping the gaze nice and central, so you're looking straight up towards the sky, towards the ceiling. You might want to close your eyes here, just breathing into the spine, allowing the legs to find a little heaviness here. And it's always important when we do any type of twist, spinal twist, that we keep the belly nice and soft, so you're not kind of pulling the belly in and gripping the belly. We want that softness, so then all of the efforts are going into that twist, are going into the spine. Wonderful. Whenever you're ready, draw your navel towards your spine for a moment as you inhale deeply, bringing the knees back to center. Just realign your spine as well. Just make yourself nice and straight again first. Then when you're ready, lifting the hips, we send them over to the right side of the mat, and the knees rotate over to the left. Lovely. Just gently lowering them down. We can open up the chest a little bit more here again. And then just relaxing, allowing the heaviness of the legs, softness of the belly. And we're just breathing into that spine, breathing into our twist, into that midsection. Wonderful. Whenever you're ready, engage in that core slightly. Inhale deeply to bring those knees gently back to center. Again, realigning yourself on the mat. Let's draw the knees in towards the chest, giving them a little squeeze. And it might feel really nice here to take a little rock from side to side, to just give yourself a nice low back of the hip massage here. Wonderful. You could do that for as long as you need to. And then whenever you're ready, take a little squeeze, one last little squeeze of the knees. And then as you exhale, just extending the legs out along the floor for your Shavasana. Now, this isn't always the best position for everybody, especially if you do have something like arthritis or stiff joints or achy joints. Just being fully stretched out isn't great. So what you can do is, again, you can pop a block or a pillow underneath the knees, or you can have the knees bent here, and then just gently walk the feet wider than your hips, maybe as wide as your mat, and then just allow the knees to gently rest against each other. So this is constructive rest pose. Really nice alternative to a shavasana. Turn your palms up towards the sky. Take a nice deep breath in and a nice long exhale out through your mouth. Just allow the spine to settle. Just feeling the body get heavy. Take a few more deep breaths, inhaling through your nose and exhaling through your mouth. Using each of those exhales to release a bit of tension from the body, allowing you to relax a little deeper each time. And then just allowing your breath to return to its natural rhythm. And just trying to follow the rhythm of your breath just for the next couple of minutes. This is just going to allow your mind to focus and just allow that full relaxation to take over. When you're ready, just slowly start to bring some movement back to the body. And this can be just wiggling the fingers, wiggling the toes. It's just allowing your body to just gently wake up again. And it might feel quite good as well to have a little bit of a full body stretch. So you can reach the arms up overhead and maybe extend the legs, pointing through the toes. Take a couple of deep breaths in that stretch. That's just going to feel really good, allow you to just wake up with a little bit more vigor to the body. And then just whenever you're ready, taking your time, you slowly just roll onto your side body and gently bring yourself up into a seated position. Now, you do not have to sit in a cross-legged position here. You can sit with your legs bent, legs extended, just however is comfortable for you to be in a seat just for a few moments. And once you arrive in your seat, just give yourself a moment just to notice how you're feeling. How are the joints? How are the muscles doing? And how do you feel overall? Hopefully you're feeling nice and stretched out, a little warmer, and definitely a little bit more energized. We're going to take one last cleansing breath together. So it's the biggest, deepest breath you've taken so far today. In through your nose. And a nice big noisy sigh out through your mouth. It's always just nice to just release that little bit more tension from the body. And that brings us to the close of this session today. So thank you all so much for joining me. I would like to hear how you got on in the comments. So please, comment and let me know. Like this video and maybe share it with somebody who you might think may benefit as well. And please subscribe for more content like this soon. Thank you so much for watching, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one. Bye.